And just start to let yourself come into this moment and this practice, giving yourself a little permission to let go of your day and kind of slide into this lovely energy of being with yourself, right? Doing something that amounts to self-care, and taking the time to slow down, breathe, connect to your body through your breath, connect to the physical self through the breath, right? And to leave some of the other trappings of the day behind. So while you're in the pose, make an effort to stretch your arms out nice and long in front of you with the palms facing down. And try to ground your hips as far back to your heels as possible. Ideally, your thighs are wide enough so that your chest can just melt down in between them. And just let the rhythm of your breath start to draw you deeper into the pose. Feeling a nice long inhale, maybe the rib cage and the belly touches the sides of your thighs as you expand on that in-breath. And then feeling that exhale as you squeeze the breath out. You feel your rib cage kind of contract, your belly pull in and up. We're just beginning the practice in this pose of kind of surrender and letting go. Allowing your forehead to touch the floor if it can. You may want to rock your head gently from side to side, just releasing any tension in the neck. Let your shoulders just slide down your back. And again, try to anchor the hips back towards the heels. And begin finding your rhythm of breathing. In and out through the nose. Letting the armpits melt and the chest begin to open. A little sway from side to side of your torso might feel nice. Just rocking the ribs from left to right, right to left. Just gently moving the body here. And while you're in the pose, see if you can bring your awareness to the back side of your body. So when you breathe in, see if you can even inflate the back side, the outer edges of the ribs, the back of the lungs. And just really bringing awareness to the back side of the body, which we don't often do throughout our day. So filling up with a breath deep enough to inflate the back side. Exhaling nice and long. On your next breath in, tense your fingers and come up onto your finger pads and lift your elbows off the mat. Walk your hands over to the right side, and if you can, place your left hand on top of your right. Keep your sit bones level and even, and feel the stretch in the left side of your body. Walking it over as far as you can, hands come off the mat here. Breathing in. And breathing out, stretching open that left rib cage. And then walking the hands through center, take it over to the other side. Right hand on top of the left if you can do so. Really anchor the right hip down. It's going to want to pop up, same with the sit bone. Anchor down and stretch out from there, feeling that right hip crease as your starting point for the stretch, and then reaching all the way out through the ribs, the shoulder, all the way out through the wrist and fingers. Allowing your breath to open up the right side of the ribs. Good, and then gently walk your hands back to center. And then come up onto your hands and knees. So you're lifting up, your knees are gonna stay in the same place. Why? But you're lifting up just enough so that we can rock a little bit forward, taking your shoulders ahead of your wrists. Your legs are still in a kind of a froggy position. And then on the exhale, you'll just rock the hips back. So here's where we begin some of that mobility idea, where we're opening up the joints through repetitive motion. Just taking this nice and slow, feeling the shoulders beginning to warm up, feeling the hips, and using your breath, inhaling as you come forward and exhaling as you come back. Let's do one more. And then take it on back. Just slide your hands in towards you as you come up onto your shins. We'll come into a toes pose now. Now I know this isn't everybody's favorite pose, but it's really good for your feet. And if at any time you need to hop on out of it, go ahead. But the idea is to tuck all 10 toes underneath you and for you to rest your sit bones on top of your heels. The pressure or the weight of your body is going to ground down into your toes and open up the bottoms of your feet. So this is pretty intense. Do as much as you can. Just try to be as comfortable as you can. And while we're in this pose, let's open up the shoulders. So take your right arm and we're just going to circle it back behind us. So just as if you were swimming a backstroke, beginning to open up that shoulder joint. Try to make it as fluid as possible, although I know for a lot of us, if we're tight, that circle is going to look more wobbly or a little less circly and maybe another shape, and that's totally cool. Do the best. We'll reverse the direction, take it forward, reaching all the way down, back, and up. You're doing the crawl. Good. And then just pausing, we're going to bring that arm across our chest and hook the left elbow underneath it. You're going to pull your arm as straight as possible close to your chest, getting a nice opening across the top of that right shoulder. I know this is a really tight area for me, and this is a super duper stretch. Hopefully, doing this distracts you from how the toesies are feeling right about now. See if you can continue to hang out. If you need to, you can always sit on a block and let the toes take a breather. Good job. One more breath in here. Pull your arm as close towards you as you can. And then release. Let that go. Give the shoulders a little roll. And then we'll take that left arm forward as if we're swimming, crawling through the ocean or your favorite pool, wherever you'd like to be right now. Each time sounds good. Nice, big, fluid circles. Notice how this side feels totally different, right? This is my good shoulder. And then we'll pause, reverse direction, take it back. Although there, you may hear some popping, that's totally okay, right? We want to get that stale energy and that stuckness out. We want to let the prana, the life force energy, start to move and flow. That's part of the theme of the class. All right, moving that arm across, hook the right elbow underneath, draw the arm to straight and bring it across your chest. Breathe into this side. Hopefully you're still okay on your toes. I know it's intense. A couple more breaths here. Get a good deep stretch across the front of that left shoulder, along the outer edge. One more breath in. Woo. All right, let's release that. Come off of those cute little piggy toes and just tap them out. You can tap the top of your feet onto the mat, and that might help to release them a little bit. All right, grab a blankie if you need to place underneath your knees for a little extra padding. Or my other suggestion would be to invest in a really good thick yoga mat. It's totally worth it. You'll take your hands underneath you. We'll do a few rounds of cow and cat to open up the body. So wrists underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, tops of the feet to the mat. As you inhale, you'll lift your tailbone and pull your chest through like you're wheeling your heart up. On the exhale, press into the hands, tuck and round, lift navel to spine. Moving like this, inhale, soften your ribs to the floor as you lift your tailbone and crown. Exhale as you round and curl in. Find a nice rhythm here. Take it nice and slow. Don't collapse into your shoulders, but keep pressing into your hands so that your shoulders stay engaged and you're just moving your spine. That's really where the articulation is here. Think about that movement as you round and flex it open, and the movement as you lengthen when you come into the cow pose. Let's do 2 more. Exhaling, rounding into cat. Inhaling, taking it forward to cow. 1 more cat as you round and curl in. Good. Now from here, you're going to slide your right foot all the way back. Land the toes and ground them into the mat and just start to rock forward and back. So you're going to rock on your toes, stretching that heel and the Achilles tendon. Moving back and forth here, just beginning to open up. Nice. You come to stillness and bring your right leg up and bend the knee. We're going to take the knee out to the side and start to make circles like doggy style. Nice big hip circles here, opening up that hip joint. It's very easy to pour all your weight into your left hand. Try to keep your right hand grounded just as much as you go through this. Could be really creaky. Mine is pretty creaky. Just do your best to create some motion here. Good, and then extend the legs straight back. Lift the heel high. You want to pull your chest forward, reach out and extend through your toes. And on the exhale, you're going to draw knee to nose and round as you push into your hands. Feel your shoulder blades draw apart on your back and your belly pull in and up. Let's do that again. Inhale to stretch it long, back behind you. Point the toes if you can. And then exhale, pull it in and round. Good, last time, let's stretch it all the way back and out. And then swing your leg out to the side 90 degrees. Ooh, ooh, ooh. See if you can hold it, flexing your foot. Heel in line with the hip. Toes drawing towards you. Breathe. Now this is a position our leg doesn't go in very often. Go ahead and tap the toes down. Ground the foot all the way down. That should feel really good. Now walk your hands all the way out and let your chest melt down. So as you're pushing into the outer edge of your right foot, you're sinking your chest down, opening up the armpits, melting the forehead down if it can go, stretching out the spine, stretching out that inner leg line on the right side. Breathing in and breathing out. Good, gently walk the hands back in and then turn to face your extended leg and walk your hands over to your shin. Coming into a stretch and a twist here. Now you may just come up this high, or if you can, maybe you can pull your chest down towards your shin, forehead to knee. See if you can go a little bit deeper here, twisting the rib cage around so your left ribs are rolling under you and your right ribs are rolling up. For my yogis who'd like a little bit more, hang on with your left hand and maybe that right arm comes up. Lifting the heart slightly, taking the gaze up if you can. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. Good, let's release. Walk the hands back, position them under the shoulders, lift your leg up and swing it all the way back and off to the left side of the mat. So it's actually going to come off of the mat. You're going to stay on your toes, your heel is lifted. Now turn and look over your left shoulder as you ground through your toes and you press your right heel away from you. This is a big stretch to open up the right side of the body. So the more you press your heel away, the more you're going to feel it in your outer hip and your outer leg on that right side. Keep opening up as you press into the foot. One more breath in. And on the exhale, bring it on back. Draw the hips back to the heels. Release the arms back alongside of you, palms face up. Take a breath or two in child's pose. Reconnect with your back body. While you're here, feel into that right side. Just notice how it's feeling. Compare it to the left side, right? Big difference in probably temperature and sensation. Good, and then bring yourself on up. Let's come back to that tabletop position. Left side now. Slide your left foot all the way back and tuck the toes. The heel is lifted. We'll start to move forward and back, just rocking on the toes, pressing back through the heel, warming up our hamstrings, our ankles, the toes a little bit more. Just breathing into this. Good. Come to center, lift that left leg, bend the knee, and then doggy style it out as you start to make circles. Right, so the knee comes out, down, and back. Try not to skimp on that circular motion. It's easy to do. Try to get into it as best you can. Oil up that joint. We all need it, right? Beautiful. Two more. Big circle. Last one. Awesome. Now extend your leg back and point the toe. Lift your heart and look forward. Breathe in, find some length. Exhale, knee to nose as you round, push into your hands and lift your belly up. Good, again, inhale, stretch it long, point the toes, reach long, feel the stretch in the front of your hip. And then exhale, contract and round in. Good, extend back one last time, reach long. Swing the leg out to 90 degrees, flex the foot. Try to keep your heel lifted. Try to keep the weight in the hands even. Breathe into this awkward, terrible, terrible pose. And then lower the foot down. Anchor the heel, the edge of the foot, and walk your hands out. Let your chest melt down. So walk the hands out far enough that your forehead can meet the mat. Keep pressing into the edge of that left foot. Let everything open up here. Breathe into wherever your body needs it. Know that you're doing a great job. Your body is thanking you for this. All right, let's lift up and walk the hands in. Turn to face your extended leg and walk the hands over for a twist. So you could be up here, this is cool, or if you think you can come down, slide on down, draw your chest towards your shin, forehead towards the knee. Deepening that twist if you'd like, hang on with your right hand, lift the left arm up, and rotate the ribs underneath you. Keep that left leg engaged, so press into the left foot. Roll the ribs around, breathe in, and breathe out. Beautiful. Slowly unwind wherever you are, back to tabletop. Tuck the toes under and let's find downward facing dog, stretching those legs. Woo! Take a moment here just to feel into your hips, your hamstrings, your calves, your feet. And if movement is what your body's calling for, go ahead and pedal. If you need to, you can always come onto fists or place your hands onto blocks. Do your best to keep your feet about hip width distance apart and your hands in line with your shoulders. As you press into your hands, feel your rib cage stretching back towards your thighs. Lift your tailbone as much as possible and let your shoulders slide down your back. Try to have no tension in the head or neck, no tension in that inner neck, inner shoulder. Release and let all that go, shaking the head out, yes, and no. Ha. Let that go. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, let's look forward at the hands and take a little walk up to the top of the mat. You're gonna land with your feet underneath the hips. Your knees may be very bent. We're gonna fold forward. Just letting the torso spill out over the front of the legs. Very common to have your weight fall back into your heels. Try not to do that. Shift it forward into your toes. Notice how that gives a little more space for the hamstrings to open up and a little more lift of the tailbone up towards the sky. Again, let the head be heavy and the neck be as loose as possible. And then bring your hands to the mat in front of your feet or to blocks if you need a little assistance. And as you inhale, come up high on your toes. So your heels are going to lift up here. As you exhale, I want you to bend your knees and tuck your tailbone towards your heels and round your chin towards your chest. So you're coming into a little ball, you're squatting down, you're on your toes. And then we'll inhale back to straight legs. You're still on your toe tips here. And as we exhale, we lower the heels down. Let's do that again. Inhale high on the toes. Exhale, bending the knees, slowly come into your little ball shape, chin to chest. Keep the heels lifting, press into the toe pads. And then inhale as we rise, legs are straight, you're still on your toes. And exhale, let those heels drop down. Good. Just a nice little warm up for your knees and your feet. Let's take our hands back behind us and find a clasp of some sort. You could interlace your hands and have them rest at your sacrum. Do your best to roll your shoulder heads back, or maybe you stretch your arm bones straight. Try to let them arc overhead. Maybe you have opposite elbows, and that feels good. Wherever you are tonight, add in or just kind of combine your forward fold with a nice chest and shoulder opener, whatever works for you here. For my yogis who want more and maybe have this arm bind that I'm in, try to bend your right knee and drop your right shoulder towards your knee. Roll your chest open to the left and send your arms back behind you. Breathing in and breathing out. We're going to switch sides, come back through center, bend your left knee, drop your left shoulder, and turn your torso to the right as your arms extend back behind you. You can do this if you're clasping opposite elbows as well. We're just inviting in a stretch into our IT band and opening up our chest. Release that, let the arms dangle down, let it all go with a ha. And then slowly roll yourself up to stand, pressing into your feet, engage your legs, tuck your tailbone and roll all the way up. And once you come up, let's turn the palms forward and stand tall in Tadasana, mountain pose. So I'm grounding through the feet. Let your soles connect with whatever surface you're on. You may want to close your eyes here. Getting nice and tall through the spine. Feel the front of your hips lifting up towards your heart, this sort of upward energy on the front side of your body. And then feel a descending energy on the back side as the shoulders release down the back and your tailbone draws to your heels. Feel the crown of the head rising towards the sky and the feet firmly planted in the earth. Breathing in here, breathing out. Let's take one nice slow sun salutation together. So I'll walk you through it. For my yogis who already know what they're doing, you can move right along, but we'll take a breath in and bring our arms all the way up and overhead. Sometimes it's nice to have a refresher, even if we know what we're doing. On the exhale, hinging forward from the hips with a nice flat back. So try to keep that back straight as you come all the way down. And then fingertips to shins or the mat, come up halfway. So your spine is straight here. You're feeling the crown of the head draw forward as the tailbone draws back. Your shoulders are engaged on your back and your belly's pulled in nice and tight. Find another breath in here, get long. Look out past the top of your mat. And as you exhale, hands to the mat, step one foot back and the other to find plank pose. So if you would prefer to be on your knees, go ahead and be on your knees. If you need to take it on your forearms, that's an option too. What we want to do is resist gravity. So press into your hands, keep your belly engaged, your core strong, your thighs and knees lifted, and press into the mat and push the earth away. Breathe here, developing strength. It's so good for our body, our core, our shoulders, our legs, everything getting nice and toned here. Now, we'll slowly lower the knees to the mat if they aren't already. Shift forward so your shoulders are ahead of your wrists, and then bend your elbows, keeping them close to your ribs. So they're gonna point right back. Land and untuck your toes. Your hands are at the top of your rib cage. Little to no weight here. Push into the tops of the feet, and then begin to curl your chest up and away from the mat. Engage your legs, so push into them and feel the lift from your belly button up through your chest. Take another breath in, elbows tight. Exhale to lower. Good, again, inhale, come on up. Try to use your back muscles, so maybe you float your hands off the mat. Exhale down. One more time, inhale, lifting. Shoulders draw away from the ears, legs are firm, little to no weight in the hands, and release. Beautiful. Press back to hands and knees. Downward facing dog as you lift your tailbone high. Press your heels towards the floor. Breathe into this beautiful inversion. Let all that blood rush to your head. Feel the body opening up. Good, let's look forward at our thumbs, and we can either hop or step our way to the top. You take a hop, come up onto the toes, bend the knees, and jump between the hands. Come halfway up on your next breath in, so re-extend the spine. Exhale, soften and fold down. And inhale, rise all the way up, reaching the arms overhead. And exhale, hands to the heart. We're gonna add on now. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale as we dive forward. Halfway lifting here, extending out. This time stepping just the left leg back, coming into a lunge. If you'd like, you can keep the knee down on the ground. Also another option here. If the knee is lifted, press back through that left inner heel and make sure that your front shin is vertical, so knee over the ankle. We're just gonna rock a little bit forward and back here. Again, coming back to that same idea of movement and pulsing to help open up our joints. And then coming to stillness, take a deep breath in, sink the hips down, look forward. And on the exhale, pull the hips back as you straighten both legs. Big hamstring stretch here, so do your best to be here. Again, if you're on your knee, it can look like this, a little half split. So that's also an option. Kind of fold down over the front of your thigh or inside your thigh. And we'll just take that forward and back, inhaling, taking the chest forward, exhaling, pulling back, straightening the leg. Again, inhale, dropping. Exhale, pulling back. Last time, let's inhale to come forward. This time, bring the knee down if it's not already, and rise up, bringing your arms overhead. Staying in this nice low lunge, feel the stretch in front of your left hip. Let your arms reach up. Relax your inner shoulders. Back toes can be flat or tucked. I prefer mine to be tucked. It helps with my stability. And then we'll look up, take a breath in and look up to the sky. As you exhale, you're gonna cactus your arms. So the elbows are gonna pull wide. You're gonna squeeze your shoulder blades onto your back. Breathing in, lifting the heart here. Breathing out, bring the arms up and overhead. One more time, big breath in, look up. Exhale as we cactus. Tilt your elbows a little further forward and draw your wrists a little further back. So imagine you have like a plate in your hand and you're opening up your chest here. One more breath in. And then on the exhale, come on upright, bring your palms together in front of your chest. I'll show you this from this angle. So take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, twist to our right. So towards your bent knee. You can stay upright for this twist if this is good enough for you. Or if it's in your wheelhouse, bring that elbow outside of the knee. Bring your palms to meet in front of your heart. Try to stack your elbows and turn your chest. So from the side, it'll look like this. For those who want a little bit more, you're gonna lift that back knee. And you wanna keep rotating your chest around. Try to pull your belly away from your thigh so it's not resting or dumping down onto the thigh, but stay lifted. Maybe those elbows stack, press into your palms. It really helps with that extra rotation. Breathe in, breathe out. Really nice work, guys. One more breath in. On the exhale, bring the hands down, bring that back knee down. We're gonna swing that right foot all the way back behind us. Land the foot down, coming into a modified side plank. So walk your left hand under your shoulder and bring your right arm up. For my yogis who want more, maybe you bring both feet out and you stack them, whoops, for your side plank. So in this pose, you want to roll the chest back and open, stack your arms, engage your tailbone, pull it towards your heels, a little bit of arm strengthening. So if you're in this pose, really push into that right foot. Find a lot of length on the right side. Breathe in. Nice. And breathe out. Bring the hand down. Let's find downward facing dog. So stretch it back. Shake your head out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Taking it to the top of the mat. Look forward at the thumbs. Bend your knees. You can either walk or hop yourself back up. Halfway lift here. Exhale to fold. And inhale to rise. Come all the way up. Bring your hands up and overhead. And then exhale, let the thumbs pause right at the front of the heart. Engage with your breath and just notice how you're breathing. Settle it on down if you need to. Notice if you've lost a connection with your breath. And if your eyes were closed, invite them back open. And let's take that on the other side. So inhale the arms up and overhead. Exhale, dive forward with your flat back. Halfway lift, look out past the top of your mat. And then this time, step your right leg all the way back, coming into that runner's lunge. So again, knee can be down if you prefer or lifted. This sequence works either way. Just settle in, try to let those hips melt here. Try to pull your heart forward. Feel that stretch in the psoas and the hip flexor on the right side. And then nice deep breath in, look forward. On the exhale, we're gonna straighten those legs as you pull the hips back and fold down inside that left thigh. Let's pause here and breathe, just inviting some openness into that left hamstring. Relaxing the head, deepening the breath as you need to. And one more breath in. Nice full breath out. And then just gentle pulses between the two. Inhale, coming forward. Remember, you can do this with the knee down. Exhale, shifting back. Inhale forward, chest stays lifted. Exhale, pulling back. One more time, inhale as we melt the hips down. And then exhale as we pull back. Good, come forward and this time drop the knee one more time. We're gonna rise up. Toes can be tucked or untucked here. Relax those inner shoulders. Dropping into the hips here and feeling some lengthening of the waistline all along the outer edges of our rib cage there. Maybe close the eyes and challenge your balance a little bit, even here. And then we'll look up at the sky, take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, you're gonna cactus those arms, open the chest and squeeze your shoulder blades onto your back. If you feel wobbly, maybe ground your toes behind you. And then inhale again. Let's lift the arms up, get long. Exhale as we open the chest, elbows wide. Tilt those elbows forward, tilt your wrists back, flatten the palms and look up to the sky. Just breathe into this. Ooh, yeah. One more breath in. On the exhale, pull back and bring your hands to meet in front of your heart. Now we'll take that little twist so you can stay upright. As you exhale, pull your belly towards your spine and just turn the chest as much to the left as you can. So I will do it from this side so you can see me. So this is perfect. This is a really good variation of this twist. Staying upright and just feeling the center of your body ringing out there. Option then, though, also to bring the elbow outside the knee. You can stay right here and start to revolve your chest. Try to press your palms towards your thumbs, and your thumbs towards your heart, and your heart towards your thumbs. Other option for a little more juice, lift that back knee. Breathe into whatever variation is working for you tonight. Remember, it's not all about effort. Find some softness. Breathe into the shakes, the wobbles. That just means your body's working. We're building strength. Take one more breath in. On the exhale, drop the knee down if it isn't. Frame out that front foot. And then you're gonna swing your left foot all the way to the back, straightening it and landing the whole foot to the floor. Right knee stays bent. Right arm underneath the right shoulder, opening up into your side plank variation. This is awesome right here. Building strength in the wrist and the arm. Arm balancing for my yogis who want more. Right foot comes back to meet the left. You can either stagger them or stack them. Roll the chest open as much as you can. Press the earth away and lift from your obliques. Good, take one more breath in. On the exhale, let's come on down. Drop the knees and then press back into child's pose. Give those wrists a rest. Give the breath a chance to recover. Taking one more breath in. One more breath out. Give yourself a hand. All right, find downward facing dog. Let's make our way back up to the top of the mat. Stretch out your hamstrings, press your rib cage back, shake out your head, and then look forward at your thumbs. Bend your knees, take a walk or a hop. Come up halfway, and then fold yourself down. Let's roll on up to rise. Bringing your arms up and overhead with you. Grab your left wrist when you come to the top. Pull your wrist up toward the sky, big breath in. Exhale, lean out and over to the right side, pressing your hips to the left. Just getting a full body side stretch here. Breathing into it. Tug on that wrist, see if you can go a little deeper. Awesome, and come on up to center. We'll switch sides. Grab your right wrist, take it up, and then up and over to the left. Send your hips to the right. Stretch it out. Relax your head here. Relax your facial muscles. Maybe put a smile on your face. Happy body. Good, rise up through center. And just let your arms float down by your side. Give your shoulders a good roll. We'll come into our standing sequence here. Do what you can. Don't feel like you have to do everything that's being offered, but we're warmed up enough that you should be able to manage these poses or modify as you need to. So we're going to start in a balancing pose, a standing figure 4. Our right leg is going to be our standing leg. Bring your left ankle right above your right knee and try to draw that left knee out to the side. Hands can either place on the hips or at your heart center. Slowly begin to bend your knee and imagine you're trying to sit back into a chair behind you. At any point where it sort of gets sticky and you don't feel like you can go any lower, don't do it. But try to work yourself down into as low a position as possible. This ankle and knee is aligned, the shin is horizontal, the foot is flexed. Feel what's happening in your right ankle as you build some strength there. Maybe a little wobbling. This is a really good time to turn to your breath. So kind of breathe into it, do the best that you can. If you fall out, just think of that as a teaching moment, right? An opportunity to just come back into it in a new and fresh way. Good job, guys. Take one more breath in. Now you're going to come to stand, so push into that right foot and then hug your left knee into your chest. Think of like when you used to be in the swimming pool and you do that jackknife position into the pool, right? This is where we want to be. So pull that thigh in close to you. Stand tall. Pull your shoulders down your back. Reach up through the crown of the head. Take one more breath in here. On the exhale, release your toes all the way back to the back of the mat. Come onto the ball of the foot. High lunge pose. You're going to bend into that front knee and your arms are going to come up and overhead. Get stable here. If you feel like you're on a balance beam, widen your feet. Get them a little bit wider. Try to bring your hips to square to the top of the mat, your shoulders to square. Your chest is open, your arms are relaxed. Good. Now as we inhale, try to drop your back knee down to the ground, tap, and then exhale to come back up. One more time, just like that, nice and slow. Inhale to tap, and then exhale to push it away. Big breath in, reach up, and then exhale to open to warrior two. So now you're facing the long side of the mat. Your feet are really wide here. You may even want to wiggle them out wider than you think. And you'll find that alignment of heel to arch. Right toes are forward, right knee is over the ankle, and it's turning towards the pinky toe side. Really engage the back edge of your back foot. Sink down, think of your spine as vertical. And as you bend into the knee, the spine stays vertical and travels with you. Relax your shoulders. Good. Feel that tailbone drawing down, feel the heart lifting up. And then inhale a little straightening of the front leg. And then exhale, we're gonna bend back into it. So that little pulsing inhale as we come to straight. And exhale as we rebend. Inhale, this time bring the arms up and overhead with you. And as you exhale, you're gonna reverse back. So the left arm comes to the left leg and the right arm reaches overhead. Push into your right big toe. Try not to grip your feet, but use them as like suction cups. Reach all the way back and then rise on up. Keeping your legs straight, we're gonna hinge forward from our hips, tilting the pelvis, reaching out long over our front thigh, and then dropping into Trikonasana pose. If you have a block, you can always place your hand on the block inside or outside of your front thigh, or calf really. Turn your chest, look up to the sky, wrap your right sit bone underneath you and steady your legs. Taking a nice deep breath in, and a nice long breath out. Imagine there's a wall behind you you can lean into. Take a breath in and rise on up. Beautiful. As you exhale, we're going to turn the left toes out to meet the right toes. So we're at a pigeon or a ballerina style pose here. Big breath in. Exhale, we're going to squat down, arms reach overhead. So again, knees over ankles. Little goddess pose here. These are for my goddesses, men and women alike. And little pulses here. Inhale to stretch to straight. And then exhale to take it down, hippie hips. Inhale, squeeze your inner thighs as you lengthen the legs. Exhale, sink it down. One more in, up. Exhale down. Beautiful, squeeze to rise. Hands to hips, and bring your feet together. Shake out your legs. Nice. Should feel pretty warm down here, pretty open. All right, we've got that on the other side. So standing figure 4 with the left leg as our standing leg. Bring that right ankle to the thigh, right above the knee or higher. Turn the knee out, and then hands to hips or center of the chest. Bend into the knee and sink it down. Find your steadiness here by focusing on your breath and finding a focal point. Maybe you're looking at the screen or there's something else, but stay with it. Dropping down a little bit further with each exhale if you can. Again, keep your foot flexed and your knee and ankle aligned with one another. Paying attention to keeping our joints nice and safe here. Stay with it and breathe. The breath is our barometer, kind of where we are, how we are, right? If it's choppy, we're probably not in the pose enough and dropping enough into our body. Deep, long, smooth breaths here. All right, slowly come to stand and then pull that right knee into your chest. So interlace your hands across the front of the shin, just under the knee, and then come into that jackknife position. Stand tall, draw your shoulders back. Really root through your standing leg. Feel everything engaged here, your core, your standing leg, your breath, your focus. Good, and then picture yourself in high lunge. So release the legs, drop the toes all the way back, ground on the ball of that back foot, and bring your arms up and overhead. Squaring towards the top of your mat. If that happened with some fallout, hey, no problem. If it happened with a bunch of wiggles and wobbles, I get it, right? It's all part of how we evolve within the practice. And it is just a practice. No perfect here. Lots of practice and a lot of fun. All right, let's inhale and tap that back knee towards the mat. It doesn't have to touch. Exhale nice and slow to straight, pushing through the heel. One more time. Inhale to tap. And exhale to push back. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, you'll rotate open to warrior 2, facing the long side of your mat. Wiggle those feet nice and wide. Bend into your left knee. Make sure the knee is right over the ankle. And try not to tilt your hips forward, right? See if you can level the hips out. That front hip, that left hip is really going to want to drop. See if you can bring it in line with your right. And again, find that vertical position with the spine. Arms open wide. Reach out through the fingertips. Good, let's inhale to straighten the front leg. And then exhale to bend into it. Good, again, inhale to straighten. And exhale to bend. Inhale to straighten, bring the arms up and overhead. And exhale to reverse back. Right hand to right thigh. Left arm up and overhead. Big left side body stretch. Reach long. Reach back. Breathe. Try to ungrip the toes. And then open wide, arms to a T. Start to tilt the pelvis. Lengthen out across the front thigh. Reach the arm down and reach the top arm up. So the back of your left hand can press against the inside of your calf here. And as you do that, it can help to turn the chest open. Wrap your left sit bone under. Engage that back leg really strong. Roll your chest up, look up if you can, and breathe. Beautiful. Take one more breath in. On the exhale, this time, bend into your front knee and bring your hand down to the mat. Step back to plank pose. Lower the knees down. Lower the forearms down. Interlace your hands. Make a tripod shape. Walk your feet back one at a time. One little pass through forearm plank. Keep your thighs, your belly, your chest lifting as you press into your forearms. Push your heels away. Lengthen your tailbone back towards them. Don't collapse into your shoulders, but stay engaged. Breathing, building strength. Nice toned bodies. One more breath in. And on the exhale, come all the way down. Stretch your arms way out in front of you. Relax your feet. Drop your forehead to your mat. And just give your hips a shimmy from side to side. Wiggle that out. All right, shoulder opening time. We're gonna make a cactus shape with our right arm. You're actually gonna angle it at a diagonal away from your shoulder, or away from your body. And then your left hand is gonna tent. You're gonna make a little spider arm, spider hand with it. Push into it and roll onto your right hip with your left hip stacked on top. That left foot can just hang out in the air, or you can bend the knee. Drop the toes to the floor. And if you're not feeling any sensation in that right shoulder, in the front of the shoulder, then walk your arm further away from your body. I know this is a hard one for me to demo because I think it's hard to see on the screen, but you should be feeling something right across the front of your right shoulder. Breathe into it. Hips are stacked. Walk the right hand away from you until some sensation occurs, and then get into it. Breathe, breathe, breathe. This is where the magic happens, right? Try not to hold on to your breath or resist. Just let yourself breathe through it. Woo! All right, I hope you're feeling this, guys. I don't want to be alone. Take a few more breaths. Good, and then slowly, slowly, slowly unwind, level out the hips. Do anything you'd like with that right arm, if it needs a shake or a wiggle, or you just need to let the front of the shoulder roll towards the mat. Anything that feels good and constructive. And then we'll switch sides. So the left arm comes into the cactus shape at the diagonal away from the body. Palm is flat. You're gonna tent your right fingertips, place them off the mat, and then push into them to roll onto your left side, stacking that right hip on top of the left. Again, the leg can just be long, it can float or hover over the mat. You can bend the knee and let the toes drop to the floor behind you. And if there is not enough sensation in that left side, then keep walking your arm away from you. Trust me, there should be some feeling here. And that's what we want. You know, we want to get into those sticky places. You want your body to feel this. We're helping it to open up. We are acting all of that tech forward slumping that we do. And this is really what we need to do on a regular basis. Keep our bodies healthy. Woo, breathe into it. Smile. This is good sunshine, good medicine. One more breath in. On the exhale, nice slow roll out. And then anything you'd like to do with that left arm. All right, wherever you are, you're gonna roll onto your backs. Yes, now we get juicy. This is where you all wanna be. I know it, I know it, I know it. Okay, you can either grab a block here if you'd like for a supported waterfall position, or come right into shoulder stand. So I'll show you the modified one. The first one is to just take the hips off the mat, bring that block underneath your sacrum, and let your legs extend up to the sky. I do this a lot in the evening class because it's so healthy for your body to have that reverse blood flow happening. If you'd like to take this further, you'll again rock the hips off the mat, but catch the back of them with your hands. Try to support yourself so that your legs can become straight, right up above you. Take your gaze up towards your toes. Spread and open your toes nice and wide. And just breathe. As you close your eyes, feel what's happening with that reverse sensation of blood. Right? Circulation moving down towards the heart, away from the feet, reversing gravity. So cool. If you feel like movement, you could maybe straddle your legs here, pressing through the heels, flexing the toes. You could scissor your legs if you feel like going forward and back, right? Anything that might speak to you or feel good to you here. Such a good pose. So many beautiful things happening, but stillness is maybe the most wonderful part of it all. And then transitioning into plow pose, if you would like. Keep your hands at your low back and begin to let your toes just drop down back behind you. Now, they could be somewhere up here, right? Not necessarily to the ground, but if they're there, keep supporting your low back and just feel a nice opening up here, a decompressing of the spine, especially in the lower region. Relax your neck. Notice how difficult it is to breathe when your neck is compressed like this. Just keep it steady. Starting to slow things down. Good. All right, let's bring the hands down if you're in plow pose. So the palms are going to come to the mat alongside of you. You can even grip the mat if that's helpful. And you're going to roll yourself out of the pose with your legs zippered up together. So a nice slow release, using your core muscles, maybe feeling yourself shaking a little bit. Maybe your legs, maybe your thigh bones. And then just keep that release going. So turn on your core muscles and nice and slow, press through your heels, drawing the toes back toward you. And then just letting those heels descend all the way down. There goes Blue Dog. Must be close to Shavasana time. He always shows up for that. Let's come into Supta Baddha Konasana. So you're going to bring the soles of the feet to meet and let your knees open wide. Last little hip opening stretch here. Hand to the belly, hand to the heart. Just let your breath begin to slow down here. Soften the shoulders and begin to relax. Try to let your knees just draw towards the floor. Let gravity help to get them there. Just notice if you don't feel as if you have a little more range of motion here. And then draw the knees together and pull them into your chest. And just gently open the arms wide. Take a little twist to the right. Dropping the knees down. Maybe your gaze turns to the left here. Keeping your legs zippered up. Ankles and knees and thighs all together. Breathing through this wonderful releasing twist. And then taking the head back first. Draw yourself through center. And drop the knees off to the left and turn your gaze to the right. Feeling out this side. Trying to let that right shoulder melt to the ground as much as possible. Notice where you may still be holding on to some tightness. Can you let it go? And then the chin comes back to look up. The knees roll back to center. You're going to give yourself a really good squeeze. Hug everything in. Take a little round shape with the body. And extend yourself out for Shavasana. Take up a lot of space on your mat here. Reaching the legs long. Letting your feet open wide. Arms extending out. Turn the palms up. If you haven't already, let your eyes close. And begin to take some nice deep exhalations to allow your body to soften fully into the mat below you. Relax your ankles and your feet and all 10 toes. Smooth out the backs of your calves and the back of your knees. Let your thigh bones and your hamstrings all release down and into the floor. Feeling a weighted, heavy sensation as you surrender the lower half of your body to the mat. Relax your whole pelvic floor. Relax your hips. Let your sacrum and your sit bones all soften and ground. Let your spine release towards the floor, the backs of the ribs, the shoulders. Let that whole upper torso get heavy and weighted. Relax the arm bones, the elbows, the wrists, the palms, and all 10 fingers. Feeling them get heavy and weighted. Let your shoulders, front and back side, draw to the earth. Your neck, soften. The back of the skull. And then release all tension in your face. Eyelids are heavy. Cheeks are soft. Jaw is released. Maybe the lips are slightly parted. Release tension around the temples and the brow and the scalp. And just allow yourself to come into a state of full relaxation. Let your breath just breathe through you with ease. And just know that every cell in your body is in a receptive state. Drinking in all the goodness of your practice and all the benefits of this time of rest. Give yourself permission to be here. Let your eyes stay closed, but just begin to let your senses start to come back. So inviting in sounds nearby, further away. Inviting in temperature and feeling along your skin. Inviting in a deeper breath. And then inviting in some movement as you slowly begin to stretch your arms overhead and take a full body stretch, reaching through fingers and toes. Drawing your knees into your chest, give yourself another good squeeze. and roll off onto one side. So you'll be in a little fetal position just for a moment. Use this pose to draw yourself upright to a seat. Come to any seated position that feels good to you. Sit nice and tall and gather your hands together in front of your heart. Bow your chin towards your chest. Keep your spine nice and tall here. And just take a moment here in gratitude. Let whatever feeling of gratitude that rises first into your heart be what that moment and that thought is. It could be thanking yourself and the gratitude for showing up, or something else, time to yourself, right? Doing a little moment of self-care, whatever it is. Let that whole feeling just flood your body. And then bring your thumbs to your third eye center. Let's bow to one another and the light that we all hold within as we say namaste. Thank you all for joining tonight. I hope you feel a little more mobile, a little more flexible, and I hope that your inner sunshine is burning a little brighter. Hope to see you guys again Wednesday night at 6 is where it's at. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. Oh, thank you. Monica, how was that?
So good. It's terrible. This is my first yoga class this year.
Oh, girl, I had a feeling. That's why I offered. Oh, Petey's saying congrats to that.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been doing the chair, but you know what I mean, like our yoga sessions.
Wow. Were your wrists kind of sore? Did you feel it in your wrists?
A little, and I don't have a real mat in the house yet, so I had to modify, but
Yeah.
I really remembered all of a sudden why yoga was important.